relishing the opportunity. I'm going to sit with him. And he fumbles the football. Marcus Peters off and running toward the end zone. Touchdown, Kansas City.
With time, gonna go deep, and it is intercepted. Marcus Peters to midfield with blockers down the far sideline. 15, 10, and down close to the 5-yard line.
Welcome to Clash of the Horns. Welcome back. Thank you guys for tuning in. And today we have some star-studded news. The LA Rams come to an agreement with the Kansas City Chiefs over Marcus Peters. I guess we're going to give him a couple of draft picks, and in return, we're going to get one of the best corners in the NFL. Not a good corner, not a great corner, but an elite corner at that. And Sean McVay and Leslie are doing a great job this offseason, man. That caught me totally off, by surprise. And the Rams are starting to look very good, and the title is true. I honestly think Wade Phillips wants to do his NoFlyZone in LA, and I think this is a great push to do that. You know, if you look at the Rams secondary, you have LaMarcus Joyner, who most likely is going to come back, whether it's a long-term contract or a franchise tag, because you still have Sammy Watkins out there. And then you have Kayvon Webster, who played fairly well. You also have John Johnson, star-studded safety for the Rams, a rookie safety at that, had a great season. And then you have the situation with Tremaine Johnson. So I'm thinking by the time that we acquired Marcus Peters, that Tremaine Johnson is going to be on his way out. So, I mean, I respect Tremaine. I think Tremaine was a great corner and a great Ram in general, top to bottom. I like the fact that he played for us as long as he did, and he made his money. Now I think it's time for him to move on, and the Rams to move on. And they did a great job getting one of the best corners in the NFL at a young age, in his prime. Like, the guy is literally in his prime. He has about 19 interceptions in his career in 3 seasons. Seems to have no holding back, and he's going to continue being the same corner that he is. He's going to be under Wade Phillips. So that maximizes his potential. So if you thought he was good before with the Kansas City Chiefs, just wait till Wade Phillips works his magic as a defensive coordinator for the Rams. Another thing, Marcus Peters not only gets to play for the Rams now, but he actually gets to play against the AFC West, and he knows all those receivers in the AFC West, which makes him a dual threat as well. I mean, not only do you get to play against the NFC West receivers, but now you get to play against your old division, which we're playing this year. Another thing about Marcus Peters, he does have a potential to be a little dramatic. He gets flagged a lot. That's one of the criticisms about him. Another criticism from Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm just reading what they're saying online, is that he gives up a bunch of yardage because he's too aggressive. But to me, you can't get the biscuit without risking it. You got to risk it to get the biscuit. So we have to make sure that Marcus Peters keeps just keeps it together. That's all I'm asking. I mean, Aaron Donald, can you calm this dude down? Do your thing. Because I'm pretty sure Marcus Peters, there's something about Marcus, and I think the Kansas City Chiefs coaching staff or the organization, for a reason why they wanted to trade him, whether or not it was because he was a bad presence in the locker room, or it could be because maybe Marcus just didn't like the way they were coaching. It's a bunch of stuff, man. And I heard that the decision came and he wanted to get traded once they lost against the Titans. So, because they were ahead and then they got beat. So maybe it might be the decisions or the coaching staff, or it could just be prior to that he was just trouble and maybe he just needs to change the scenery, or he just needs a coaching staff that he respects. Honestly, I think it's all about respect in the NFL with players and coaches, and he probably didn't respect them for whatever reason that is. Doesn't diminish the reasons why maybe he was a bad influence at the time there. That's all I'm hearing. It is what it is, but Maybe just changing coaching staff. I mean, you have a lot of veterans there. Maybe there weren't anybody to help him in the Kansas City. Maybe he just didn't feel like anybody wanted him there. Maybe he felt like he was too good for that team. I'm not sure, but I know the one thing, he's going to be very good for the Rams, and that's all that matters to me. So, like I said, the no-fly zone is being installed in Los Angeles. The Rams are trying to duplicate what Wade Phillips did for the Denver Broncos, and you can kind of see the moves they're making. You can kind of see the fact that their secondary got a lot better this year under Wade Phillips. They're keeping the players that they feel best improve the team, and I think that's why Tremaine is walking away. Mainly because he's asking for too much money. He wants to get paid, and I respect that. Get your money, Tremaine Johnson. You deserve it. Some team will probably overpay for Tremaine. In general, that's the risk of being a really good corner in the NFL. He had 2 interceptions, I think, this year, but he is one of the best corners. I think a top 10 corner in the NFL. I've been saying that since 2015. I think Tremaine Johnson is very underrated. That's one of the reasons why a lot of people are looking at Tremaine Johnson right now, and he's going to get paid. And a great move for the Rams. I mean, all in general, Marcus Peters is way more aggressive than Tremaine Johnson. He creates turnovers with stripping the ball. He can punch out the ball out of the receiver's hands or running backs. I've seen it countless times. He puts himself in great position to make plays. He gets a lot of interceptions, and that's all you want under Wade Phillips to be in LA, especially the way that they play man coverage, the blitz packages they have under Wade Phillips, and you've seen the whole improvement of the defense under Wade Phillips. I mean, his track record is you give Wade Phillips the control of your defense, and he will take you to the playoffs. And then it helps out that the Rams do have like one of the best offenses, if not the highest scoring offense in the NFL last season. So put that together with whether the fact we gave a first round to the Kansas City Chiefs. If we didn't, that means we can still get an elite rusher, at least edge rusher, which I've been saying, give Wade Phillips his Von Miller-esque, edge rusher. Now with a really great corner, and then you have obviously Marcus Joyner coming back possibly. I hope so. John Johnson and Kayvon Webster off that ACL tear or ACL injury that he had this last season, and you could probably get another corner just to be safe in the draft or in free agency. The Rams have okay money, not the best, but they have a lot of players to re-sign and restructure if they decide to do that. So the Rams are working magic right now, and it looks like to be working to the best advantage. That the fact that there's speculation that the Rams didn't give away a first-round pick. Maybe they give a bunch of day 3 picks and maybe a player's in there. Who knows? That's one of the things right now is who won the trade. I mean, I'm guessing the Rams did because they got one of the best corners in the NFL. And some people are saying that they believe there's no first-round pick that was given. I think Marcus Peters must have said something, must have done something in Kansas City, and they just want to get rid of him and get the most that they can from him. But at the same time, the 49ers were also a team that was looking after him. I heard that the Jets were also looking at him, and the Rams. And I think the Rams were the only ones to give what they were asking for in that realm of picks. And they were trying to get Robert Quinn into the mix as well in that trade, but the Rams weren't having it. For some reason, they can save a lot of money by just getting rid of Robert Quinn, but in my opinion, Robert Quinn is still pretty good. The only thing about Robert Quinn's game is the fact that since 2003, you've had like that type of ceiling for him. Like you want him to reach that, but I think he might not reach that ever again. I think he's a consistent like 7-sack kind of edge rusher, and I think he can do very well if he just has someone else to complement him on the other side. That's a pure edge rusher, because Robert Quinn's a 4-3 defensive end and not like the 3-4 kind of like outside linebacker type. But Wade Phillips does what he does, let him work his magic. He did a good job this season, and so did Robert Quinn. Now we got to see what we got to do. Let's see if somehow, some way, they can still keep getting Wade Phillips his 3-4 guys, his corner, his secondary, let him work his magic the way last year Sean McVay used pretty much the whole offseason to upgrade that offense that needed a lot of help. And Wade Phillips just did what he could with what he had to work with last year. But being that now most of the offense is intact, except maybe Sammy Watkins is up for questioning. I think that's what the Rams are doing this offseason, getting, Wade Phillips his corner, getting him his nose tackle, getting him his outside linebacker, edge rusher player, getting him his guys, his inside linebacker that can actually tackle. Get him his guys and just go all out and dominate in 2018. And I think the Rams can dominate. If you look at it on paper, the Rams are one of the best teams. Last year, if you saw what the talent that they had and what they had to work with, and then this year, if they can just fix that defense, I honestly believe the Rams can be a 14-2 team if they can work out the weaknesses on their defense to a science. Like, you know, we need an inside linebacker that's the right size, the right, skill set for Wade Phillips' defense, also the edge rusher. You got your corner now. You might want to get another corner depending on if Kayvon can keep up on that side, because there's certain instances where Kayvon kind of struggles because they knew that's the weaker side of the corners. And what if you get another corner and that is actually pretty good? Like, you got to pick your poison. So that's why I consider this the no-fly zone in LAX in Los Angeles, because the Rams are working magic for this defense for 2018. So thank you guys for watching the video. Hopefully you like, keep sharing, keep liking, keep subscribing, keep commenting. Let me know, is LA the new no-fly zone? Let Wade Phillips get his guys and let's see what they can do. They can do a lot of damage and they're gonna have a tough season. We have one of the hardest schedules in 2018. Plus you got the 49ers with Jimmy G, all the hype that's going on for the 49ers and all the money that they possess and the draft picks that they have. So you're gonna have some competition this year, the LA-San Francisco rivalry. And then you also can't count out the Seattle Seahawks. They'll get their players. Some of the players will probably walk, some of them will come back. And then you have the Arizona, who's looks like they're going to be starting off from fresh, but you can never count them out. They always play the Rams tough. So let's see what happens. I will keep you guys tuned in throughout the offseason. Peace, horns up, and I'm out.
Over the top, he comes out, great pass.
That pass is intercepted. John Johnson. And now it's a foot race. Wilson giving chase with McKissick. Johnson cuts back, getting blockers, and finally tackled at the 20 by Wilson.
Carson Palmer on first down, hit hard, throws and it's intercepted. LaMarcus Joyner on the return to the 20 and down to the 17-yard line.
3rd down and 5. Wentz sets up, fires, pass is picked. Off the hands of Aguilar and into the waiting arms of Kayvon Webster.
Good skilled players here. 23rd in the league in pass offense. That one into traffic and intercepted by Marcus Peters, dancing along the far sideline and out to the 37-yard line.